Hello everybody, it's James at Soloist Travel. Today we are going to be talking about the first things you should do on your working holiday visa when you arrive in Australia to make your trip the best it can be. So let's talk about accommodation. Now I prefer to use everything I booked. I use booking.com on the app. It does give you a lot of times you can cancel for free up to a week, sometimes a few days before, which is really good. So I use that for everything I did. If you just go on booking.com, put the dates in, you can basically book your sections up the east coast from Sydney to Byron Bay to Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast to Cairns, Townsville. You can book all these up the east coast ready for when you go there, and if your plans change you can just cancel them for free. Just always double check you can before you do it. Also I use Skyscanner as well. Some people prefer to fly up the east coast. I myself use the next alternative, which I'll explain next. Now let's talk about working. If you want to work at a bar, a restaurant, anything like that, you want to get construction work, you're going to need a white card for a construction and so forth. You're going to need an RSA for your restaurant work, your bar work. You're going to need an RSA. Different states require different courses. For example, I think the Western Australia you need to go on an online course for the white card, which some people and recruiters prefer. But if you're in Queensland, for example, you can do that online. And I know some places might not want that online. They'd rather you go in a classroom and learn it. It all depends, but most of the time you can still get work with that. Most easy enough with it. The RSA, you need that to work obviously in the bars, in the restaurants. So I think it's an online course. I didn't do that myself. If you Google it, it will come up, but I think it's pretty simple. It's just a day course for that. So you can't actually apply for your TFN number until you arrive in Australia, but you can get your visa, go over to Australia, and then you need to apply for it. So when you go online, you'll just type in on Google apply for TFN number, and it will bring you to the Australian government website. But stop, we need to get down to business, because there's things you can do to make your trip a lot more smoother as you go up the east coast. So first thing is first, you need your TFN number. Now, what is a TFN number? That is a tax file number. You need this so you don't get emergency taxed when you work for any employer in Australia. But also, after you apply for your TFN, you do not need to wait 28 days for that to arrive, because obviously you're going to be travelling up the east coast. You're not really going to have 28 days unless you're staying somewhere very long term. So after, I think it's 7 days, you can call up the TFN line and you can get it over the phone, and also you can start work without it if you're just waiting for it. So that is more, it makes it more simpler for you guys to do that. So yeah, after 7 days, a week, give them a call. They can give it you over the phone. And then if you know where you're going to be after 28 days, you could try and get the TFN number card to the address you're going to be at, but it isn't necessary. If you've got the number itself, that's more than enough. So the next thing you need to do is obviously open a bank account, because the money is not going to get paid to you anywhere else. So basically you go online. I recommend Commonwealth Bank. That's who I went with when I went. I applied for it online, and then when I went over there, my card was waiting for me in the branch. It does ask you what branch you prefer. So I stayed at Bondi Beach, and when I went in there, it was ready. The card was waiting for me. All I had to do was pick up the card. My bank account was done. It was as simple as that. So just go online to Commonwealth, open a bank account. You can open it before you get there. Say the branch. If you know you're going to Sydney, for example, there's a branch in Sydney Centre. There's a branch on Bondi Beach. If you know you're going to be near there, then just apply there, apply for your card, and when you go there, your card will be waiting for you at that location. So the next alternative to go up the east coast is to use the Greyhound, which most people used. I absolutely loved the Greyhound. I found it very relaxing, didn't have any issues with it. If you go on the online website before you go, you can buy a 30-day pass. I think you can get a 3-month pass, but a 30-day pass sometimes is more than enough for everyone. I myself had a 60-day pass, I think it was. and you go from Sydney, go onto the app. You can book your coaches before you even go there. You can cancel them when you want to change it. It's better to book in advance to make sure that you can get that space, because if there isn't a space, you'll be stuck where you are and you don't know how long you'll be stuck there. Obviously, the East Coast is getting very, very busy, so you need to be careful with that. Now, for all my fitness freaks out there, gym options. I know you're going to want to stay healthy when you're out there. Uh, Bondi Beach has gyms available. Some places you go in Australia will have gym outside bars available, stuff like that. I found the gyms quite expensive. The cheaper options were about $150 a month, which, you know, is about, you know, £80, something like that. And it's, you know, it is expensive. But if you want to do it, you'll pay it. It's totally up to you. There is other options. You know, you can run, go out surfing. If you want to stay fit and healthy, it's very easy to do that there. It's a different lifestyle compared to the UK, where you want to stay in quite often. How much money will you need to travel the East Coast? This is the question everyone wants to know. I myself spent 10,000 Australian dollars in 4 months, which is about £5,000, £4,500. If you do it correctly and you budget, you can make sure you can do it on a good budget. I did 4 months on about £5,000, which is I think that's very good. You know, you've still got to remember there is Aldi available there. There is cheaper options available. If you're going to be drinking a lot, especially with, you know, with alcohol, it's going to throw your budget up. If you're not drinking, obviously, goon, which you'll find out about when you get there. I myself personally don't drink much, so I was fine with that. I prefer to go to the gym and stuff like that. So yeah. Any questions, please put them in the comments below. I will answer all of them. I will make sure that I answer any comments or questions, or any questions you have. Please just ask me. I'm always checking, so I'll always make sure I get back to you. Yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any more content on Australia, please let me know and I'll do that. Yeah, peace.